Hello, Eurovision friends. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. We just witnessed the semi-final allocation draw for Eurovision 2024, or at least I did. I don't know whether you watched it. If you didn't, doesn't matter. I will tell you everything you need to know in this video. They kind of made a little show of it, which was interesting and nice. They kind of rubbed in a bit too much that this would be the second time for Malmö hosting in only 11 years. And for Sweden, I think it's actually the third time. It is the third time. And I don't know whether rubbing it in is such a good idea. But anyway, I will be talking about what happened, who is in which semifinal, who's in which half of which semifinal, and also when we look at historic qualification rates, statistics, running order, which half a country is in, what does that tell us? Which country has the best chance to qualify right now without knowing most of the songs? So of course, this is mostly speculation, but if you know this channel, you know that I like speculation and I also love statistics. And both of these things will be very much featured in this video, so I hope it will be fun. Let's start with the first semi-final and the analysis of the draw. In the first half of the first semi-final, we have Ukraine, Cyprus, Poland, Serbia, Lithuania, Croatia, and Ireland. And in the second half, we have Slovenia, Iceland, Finland, Portugal, Luxembourg, welcome back, Australia, Azerbaijan, and Moldova. Now, the order is just the order that they were announced. It's not the running order yet. That will be drawn at a later stage or decided at a later stage, actually. The first thing I notice here is that Ireland and Slovenia, with two songs that have the topic witchcraft, or at least sound witchcrafty and mysterious, are in the same semi-final. I don't think it will hurt them too much, but that is one thing that I noticed. Now, what I'm going to do is to go through all of these countries and look at their historic qualification rate. And we're going to start with the one with the lowest qualification rate in the last 10 years. So I looked at the last 10 years and calculated the qualification rate, and we'll end with the country with the highest qualification rate, and thus, statistically speaking, the highest chance to make it out of semifinal one. So let's get right to it. We start with Luxembourg, which is either 100% or 0%, because obviously they have never participated in a semifinal, and so we don't have any data on them yet. However, the lowest is Ireland with a 20% qualification rate, last qualification in 2018. And these arrows you can see at the side, that is the streak. If they are red and going down, it's a non-qualification streak. If they're green and going up, it's a qualification streak. And as you can see, Ireland has not qualified for 4 years in a row. I think that might change this year with the song they have chosen. Then we have Croatia, 38% qualification rate, but they have two songs, Let 3 and Baby Lasagna, and some others as well that I think might be able to qualify this year. Then Slovenia, 50% qualification rate, Iceland also 50%, Portugal 57% with a 3-year streak. And by the way, Iceland, if they do actually withdraw, we're going to have a bit of a problem, because in Semi 1 we have only 15 countries, and in Semi 2, 16 countries. So I don't know what they will do if that actually happens. I hope it won't. So then we have Moldova with a 60% qualification rate. Finland also 60%, but of course they have had 3 qualifications in a row, doing really well recently, with UMK being a really successful format to find a good song, and the songs they have this year kind of prove that again. I think they have a few that have it in them to actually qualify to the final. Poland has a 67% qualification rate. That seemed a bit high for me, but they did qualify, but then they didn't do much in the final, usually. Now we get into the 70s. Lithuania with a 3-year qualification streak, doing really well recently. Cyprus, 78%. All of these female pop songs kind of helped them to qualify a lot. Serbia, 78% qualification streak, and look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year qualification streak, really, really impressive. And again, the songs in the Serbian national final this year are just amazing. I love more and more of them the more I listen to them. Lots of them are in my playlist. Check them out if you haven't yet. They're really, really good. And so I think they will continue the qualification streak. Then we have Azerbaijan with an 80% qualification streak, Australia 88%, and then the leader in any qualifications rate discussion is Ukraine, because they have obviously always qualified when they had to compete in a semifinal. But by the way, it says 6 out of 6 because obviously twice they were pre-qualified for the final because they had won the previous year. So if we kind of try to show that in a graphic, these qualification rates, you would have this. If you have been to this channel before, you know that I do the semi-predictions with this graphic. The closer a country's flag is to the top, the more probable I think it is that they will qualify. The closer to the bottom they are, the more likely it is that they won't. And this dotted line you can see is the line of qualification. If you're below it, you won't. If you're above it, you will. Now, I am not talking about the songs, even the ones that are already revealed, like Ireland or Slovenia. I'm only talking about statistics and historical qualification rates. And this is what it gives you. The 5 countries that would not qualify would probably be Slovenia, Iceland, Croatia, and Ireland, and then either Portugal or Luxembourg. I put Luxembourg in the middle because we just don't have any data. However, there's a second aspect that is quite important for the chances of qualification, and that is in which half of the semifinal you are actually performing in. And if you are in the second half, that gives you a bit of a better chance. Why? Because more people tune in later on in the show, so more people will see your entry and are potential voters for your entry. And then also there's just the psychological effect that what you have just recently heard, it's still in your head, and you're more likely to pick up the phone and vote for it. And you might have already forgotten the first and second and third song that were performed. Of course, there are other things in the running order that are important. Who is next to you? Are you a pop song that comes right after a ballad? But we don't know that yet because we don't have the running order and we don't have the songs. As I said, this is a lot of speculation. But all the songs that perform second, and these are in the second half, sorry, and these are Slovenia, Luxembourg, Iceland, Finland, Portugal, Moldova, Azerbaijan, and Australia. I'll give them a little bump, as you can see here, because they just have a bit of a better chance. Now, let's talk about the voting groups. These are not necessarily political, they can be cultural. And what I noticed in this semifinal is that Serbia, Slovenia, and Croatia are all in the semifinal. And then added to that, you have Germany, Sweden, and the UK also voting in this semifinal, where a lot of people that emigrated from these countries actually live. And so I will give these 3 countries also a big boost, because I think that is just very, very good for them that so many neighbors and also countries with a big diaspora will be voting in that semifinal. Then poor Luxembourg is kind of alone because the Netherlands and Belgium are in the other semifinal, but I won't include that here because we don't have any data yet, again. Then we have Ukraine, Poland, and Lithuania. This is kind of a more modern voting bloc, I think, but they have recently voted quite a lot for each other. So I'll give them a bump as well. And then for Lithuania, they have Ireland and the UK voting in this semifinal, where a huge diaspora lives. They usually give 12 points to Lithuania. So I'll give Lithuania another boost here. And then we also have Sweden voting in the semifinal, and Finland and Iceland are in the semifinal. And so I'll give them a boost as well. And so this would be kind of my prediction, just speaking statistically. Who has the best chance? I think Ukraine definitely has the best chance of qualifying, probably followed by Australia. They have the UK and Ireland in this semifinal, and also Sweden. So, and Iceland and Finland. Actually, I should have given them a bit of a boost as well. But otherwise, yeah, it's kind of this, I think. The lowest chance, unfortunately, is still Ireland. Even though they have the UK, I could have given them a bit of a boost. And what you also notice is that Cyprus and Greece are not in the same semifinal. These voting blocks, these 2 countries that usually exchange 12 points, we don't have that many anymore. It used to be Azerbaijan and Turkey, but Turkey is not participating. Moldova and Romania, but Romania is gone. And Greece and Cyprus are in 2 separate semifinals. So I think they did quite a good job of separating the voting blocks. Now, let's talk about the second semifinal. In the first half of the second semifinal, we have Austria, Malta, Switzerland, Greece, Czechia, Albania, Denmark, and Armenia. And in the second half, we have Israel, Estonia, Georgia, Netherlands, Norway, Latvia, San Marino, and also Belgium. So I'll do the same thing, starting from the country with the lowest qualification rate in the last 10 years. And that is, unfortunately, Latvia, with, as you can see, 6 years that they have in a row that they have not managed to qualify. Last time they qualified was in 2016. So it's high time that they actually make it. Then we have Georgia, also a 6-year non-qualification streak, but 30% qualification rate. San Marino, also 30%. Albania, Malta, and Austria have 50%, and Switzerland as well. However, they have had a 4-year qualification streak. So the way that they are selecting internally seems to be working quite well. And that should give them a bit of a better chance than Austria and the others actually to qualify. I don't think I included that in my graphic, but anyway. Then we have Denmark, 3-year non-qualification rate, but 56% qualification, 3-year non-qualification streak and a 56% qualification rate. Then we have Estonia, 60%, Czechia, 67%, Israel, also 67%, Greece with 70%, Belgium, 70%, but a 3-year streak. Armenia, 78%, doing quite well. The Netherlands, also 78. They almost had a very long streak, but of course, last year they didn't qualify, but this year they have US Klein, so I think quite interesting artists, and they should be able to qualify. And then Norway, really impressive qualification streak, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row they have qualified. 90% qualification rate, so they are really the powerhouse in the second semi-final. So again, if I try to put that into a graphic, it's not 100%, it's not scientific. Please don't kill me in the comments if it's not 100%, because I still have to, fit the flags on the screen. But more or less it's this: Norway, Netherlands, Armenia, Belgium, Greece having quite a good chance to qualify, while Latvia, Georgia, San Marino, not so much. And you see Switzerland, Austria, Malta, and Albania are at 50%. So I put them right on the qualification line that I have. Now, again, second half gives you a bit of a boost. So Israel, Estonia, Georgia, Netherlands, Norway, Latvia, San Marino, and Belgium, get a bit of a boost in the graphic. And then when we talk about the voting blocks, I think in semifinal 2, there aren't that many, actually. I would say Denmark and Norway, definitely. Then we also have Austria and Switzerland, giving them a little bit of an edge, even though that group doesn't really vote for each other that much. And then also Benelux with Belgium and the Netherlands. And the others, I could have included Greece and Armenia maybe, or Malta and San Marino. But I didn't do that in the end because it's not a pattern that is as visible as, for example, Serbia, Croatia, and Slovenia voting. So this is the graphic representation of semifinal 2. If we only go by statistics, I would say the least likely to qualify are Latvia, Georgia, San Marino, Albania, Malta, and then either Austria or Switzerland. But because Switzerland has this 4-year streak, I would say Austria probably, and the others have a good chance to qualify based only on the songs, of course. Now, the next thing I did is take the qualification rate of the last 10 years and average it out. Which semifinal has the higher average qualification rate? Semifinal 1 has 59.7% and semi 2 has 57.3%. So at least speaking statistically, there is not that big of a difference between the two semis. But once all the songs are revealed, I'm sure that there's going to be a discussion about this country is in a harder semifinal and will have it harder to qualify, and this country is in an easier semifinal. Do let me know in the comments what you think of the allocation draw. Are you happy with your country's place in the semifinal and in the half of the semifinals? Please let me know in the comments if I made any mistakes. It's quite probable because there was a lot of data that I had to include. And yeah, please subscribe to my channel if you want to see predictions with these graphics of the semifinal qualifiers once we have all the songs. And of course, I do ratings, interpretations, lots of things about Eurovision. See you at my next video if you want to, and bye-bye.